Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like present my final project on vocabulary building. There are two main topics. The first topic is intransitive phrasal verbs and the second topic is transitive phrasal verbs. Next, the first topic is intransitive phrasal verbs. Definition. Intransitive phrasal verbs are combination of a verb and a particle, such as run, on, or wake up. These verbs do not need a direct object to complete their meaning. The action only involves the subject, so the sentence already sounds complete. This type of phrasal verb is very common in spoken English and academic explanations. Next, basic explanation. The expressive verbs function as a single semantic unit. The particle changes or extends the meaning of the main verb without adding an object. Example, the meaning run on for hours. Run on means continued for a long time and doesn't need an object. The sentence is clear without an object because run on already means continued for a long time. We don't need to say what it continues because the meaning is complete. The second sentence is several students dropped out last semester. The sentence is clear because drop out already means leaving an activity or enthusiasm. There is no need to mention an object after it. Next, the third sentence is the plane took off early. Took off functions as one unit meaning depart. The meaning is clear because took off already shows the actions of departing. Adding an object is not necessary. Next, he woke up before dawn. Woke up describes a complete action without an object. The sentence is complete because woke up describes a finished action. It does not affect another object. Next, the crowd calmed down quickly. Calm down expresses a change of state. The sentence is clear because calm down shows a change of state. Nothing reserves the action, so no object is needed. The second topic is transitive phrasal verbs. Definition. Transitive phrasal verbs are combination of a verb and a particle that need a direct object. Without an object, the sentence feels incomplete. Next, relation to topic 1. Relation to topic 1, unlike intransitive phrasal verbs, transitive phrasal verbs affect something or someone. This is the main difference between the two types. Next, linguistics explanations. Linguistic studies explain that transitive phrasal verbs consist of a verb, a particle, and a direct object. The object is an essential part of the structure. Next, example, she turned off the lights. The plus the lights is the object that completes the meaning. The sentence needs an object because turn off describes an action that affects something. Without the lights, we don't know what was turned off. Next, he picked up the book. The object shows what is affected by the action. The object is necessary because pick up needs something to be lifted. Without the book, the listener does not know what was picked up. Next, the cause of the meeting. Without the meeting, the sentence will be unclear. The sentence will be unclear without the meeting because called of means conclude something. Without the object, we don't know what was concluded. More example. I look up the word in the dictionary. The object, the word, is necessary to understand the action. The sentence needs an object because look up requires information to search for, and without the word, the action is incomplete. The last example, she opens the door. The object, the door, tells us what is being opened. Without the object, the sentence would feel incomplete because we don't know what she opened. Important and summary. Important. Mastering transitive phrasal verbs help learners produce clear sentences. These verbs are often used in academic and formal contexts. Summary. To conclude, transitive phrasal verbs play an important role in English grammar. Their correct use depends on understanding object placement and verb-particle relationship. Now I'm going to present project 2 about case studies. There are 3 case studies. The first one is intransitive phrasal verbs. The second is gender formation with suffixes, and the last is vocabulary formation with collective nouns. Case study 1, vocabulary building intransitive phrasal verbs. Introduction to intransitive phrasal verbs. Intransitive phrasal verbs are verb combinations followed by particles that do not take an object. Expressions such as run on, drop out, and take off are commonly found in everyday English as well as academic contexts. Because these expressions are frequently used by native speakers, understanding them is essential for learners who want to communicate more naturally and effectively in English. Next, contribution to vocabulary development. Learning intransitive phrasal verbs helps students expand their vocabulary by recognizing phrases as complete meaning units rather than spared words. This approach allows learners to store expressions as part of their lexical knowledge, which supports fluency and faster language processing. As a result, learners are better prepared to understand authentic spoken and written text. Next, linguistic perspective. From a lexical theory viewpoint, intransitive phrasal verbs are treated as multi-word units that are mentally stored together. Vocabulary research suggests that acquiring words in chunks improves relation and recall. Therefore, phrasal verbs should be considered part of vocabulary learning instead of being viewed only as grammatical structures. Next, implication for vocabulary instructions, including intransitive phrasal verbs and vocabulary teachings, encourage learners to use more natural language. When learners understand how these expressions function in real context, they gain confidence in speaking and writing. This method also help reduce reliance on single word verbs that sound more formal or unnatural in everyday communication. Next, summary of case study 1. Intransitive phrasal verbs play an important role in vocabulary development because they reflect authentic language use. Although this expression present challenge for second language learners, research support teaching them through context and explanation. With appropriate instruction, learners can gradually improve their understanding and use of intransitive phrasal verbs. Move to case study 2. Gender formation with suffixes. Morphological theory overview. From the perspective of morphology, gender suffixes are part of derivational process. Derivational morphology creates new word by adding affixes that change meaning or grammatical category. In this case, the suffix does not only alter from the form of the word, but also add semantic information related to gender identity. For example, actor, actress, and waiter, waiters. The word pairs, actor, actress, and waiter, waiters illustrate the use of the suffixes to mark feminine gender. The best from actor and waiter traditionally refer to male roles, while the suffixes from specific female participants. This process demonstrates how suffixes narrows the meaning of a word by adding gender-related information. Next, prince, princess. In the pair prince, princess, gender distinctions is formed by adding the suffixes to base noun. Although the spelling changes slightly, the core meaning related to royalty remains the same. This example highlights how derivational morphology can produce new lexical items while preserving the original semantic concept. Next, more example. Host, hostess, and hero, heroine. The nouns host, hostess, and hero, heroines show two different gender marking suffixes, namely us and in. The suffixes create feminine form from gender neutral or masculine base. However, their use has become less common in modern English as speakers increasingly prefer gender neutral vocabulary. Next, empirical research on gender. Empirical studies on gender marking in English indicate a gradual decline in the use of gender-specific suffixes. Research suggests that social awareness and language change have encouraged speakers to use neutral terms such as actor for all genders. These findings show that vocabulary formation is influenced not only by linguistic rules but also by social factors. Next, summary of case study 2. Overall, gender formation through suffixes reflects a derivational morphological process that affects both form and meaning. While these suffixes were historically important in distinguishing gender roles, current research shows a shift toward neutral language use. Understanding these changes help learners recognize how English vocabulary evolves over time. And the last case study 3, vocabulary formation with collective nouns. Introduction to collective nouns. Nouns are words used to refer to a group of people, animals, or objects as a single entity. Example include committee, jury, audience, and staff. Although these nouns appear in singular form, they represent multiple members within a group. Because of this characteristic, collective nouns play an important role in vocabulary learning, especially in understanding meaning and grammatical agreement. Next, collective nouns as vocabulary units. From a vocabulary perspective, collective nouns function as single lexical items that carry complex meanings. They allow speakers to describe a group efficiently without listing individual members. For language learners, understanding collective nouns help expand vocabulary knowledge and support more natural expression in both spoken and written English. Next, singular subject-verb agreement. Singular subject-verb agreement in sentence such as the committee has approved the proposal. The collective noun is viewed as one unified body. The verb has is used because the focus is on the group acting together as a single unit. This type of agreement is commonly found in formal writing and academic contexts. Next, plural subject-verb agreement. In other cases, collective nouns might take plural verb from when the emphasis is on individual members. For example, in the staff are attending a workshop today, the verb are highlights the action of the member rather than the group as a whole. This use is more frequently observed in British English. Linguistic theory explanations. According to agreement and semantic interpretation theory, subject-verb agreement with collective nouns depends on how two speakers conceptualize the group. When the group is seen as a single unit, singular agreement is preferred. When the members are viewed individually, plural agreement becomes more appropriate. Summary of case study 3. In conclusion, collective nouns function as flexible vocabulary items that interact closely with grammar and meaning. Understanding how collective nouns influence subject-verb agreement helps second language learner improve both grammatical accuracy and vocabulary awareness. Research-based explanation support teaching collective nouns through contextual examples. Conclusions. This presentation discussed 3 R's of vocabulary development in English. The first, intercity phrasal verbs, and the second, gender formation through suffixes, and the last, collective nouns. The analysis shows that vocabulary learning is not limited to memorizing word meanings, but also involves understanding how words are formed, combined, and used in different contexts. Research findings and linguistic theory support the idea that learning vocabulary through structure and context helps second language learners achieve better accuracy and fluency. Therefore, integrating theoretical knowledge with real language example is essential for effective vocabulary instruction. And the last, any reference in here, and that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. I appreciate the opportunity to present. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.